Hey you guys, welcome back to the Hall of Anime. My name is Dawson, and today, a review of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works.
守りたいものを守れる強さそれを信じられなくなる弱さ全て受け入れて明日を探す Bring sunlight 手を伸ばせばなら Save the light 傷だらけの動き Save my life かざした刃の先に思いを重ねた祈りは時を超えて Your brain shine
Mages, Wars, and Spirits. These three key factors are what go into making something as good and great as Fate Stay Night 2014 or Unlimited Blade Works, whatever you're gonna call it. That is what it took. It took that to make Fate Zero. It took that to make the original Fate Stay Night, which wasn't up to the standards, obviously, that Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works are at. But it still went into that, and it still was a decent show to pass the time. You even have elements of this in things such as, with different elements like comedy and more of like different art styles such as Fate Khalid Linear, per se, or just Fate Khalid. I have no clue. I can't remember how you say it. Anyway, today I will be discussing, obviously, Fate Stay Night 2014 or Unlimited Blade Works. I'm gonna say probably 2014, just because that's how I started pronouncing it when I started watching it. Anyway, okay, so Fate Stay Night 2014 is breathtaking. Obviously done by Studio Ufotable, just like Fate Zero, obviously beautiful. The best animation in the industry comes out of Studio Ufotable, obviously with things such as Fate, the Fate series, and also Kara no Kyokai, for say, or Garden of Sinners for the English title. Obviously some of the best artwork pieces have come out of Studio Ufotable. And with new upcoming works coming out of Studio Ufotable, such as God Eater coming this upcoming summer, we obviously can expect much more. But anyway, back to the main topic, Fate Stay Night 2014. Okay, so the plot of Fate Stay Night 2014, it is set in the city of Fuyuki, where the Holy Grail War takes place every, if I believe correctly from the series, it was about every 60 years it's supposed to be, from what I learned in Fate Zero. But, from the last Holy Grail War, which took place in Fate Zero, with the big screw-up of the group. Okay, spoilers alert for anyone who hasn't watched Fate Zero. If you haven't watched Fate Zero, why are you watching this video? Anyway, spoilers alert. Just get off the video, go watch Fate Zero if you haven't. Anyway, obviously from the screw-up at last year's, or not last year's, but 10 years ago, at the Holy Grail War, where Emiya just destroyed the Holy Grail, forcing Saber to do that, and just destroying mass areas with that on accident. Anyway, the story takes place in Fuyuki again, the place of the Holy Grail War, obviously, and the Holy Grail War is a battle between mages. 7 mages are chosen. Some families have been in this forever. For say, the Tosaka family have been doing it, and the the Ainsbergs have been doing it forever as well. And they've just been trying to get the Holy Grail to make their family's wishes come true. Obviously, with this, we also have the random people who just show up randomly. There are a couple of people who just show up in the story as new mages. One of them being our main character, Shiro, per se. And we have a couple more that just kind of come into the Holy Grail War. It's not all set out in stone which families are going to send people. It's not even set out in stone, technically, as long as somebody summons somebody to the Holy Grail War, summons a spirit, per se, they can fight. It doesn't matter. It's not on family basis or anything. It's just who can summon a spirit faster and who knows all about the Holy Grail War. Anyway, sorry about that again. I'm not great at talking. Anyway, let's get back. 7 mages are chosen, like I said. Not 7 mages are chosen, 7 mages decide they're going to participate. With these 7 mages, we have them summon each a spirit, a heroic spirit, per se. Each of them summon 1, 2, 3, until we have 7, and the war can start from there. The spirits range in class from rider, archer, is it sorcerer? No, not sorcerer. What am I saying? Assassin, spot. There's tons of them. There's like 7, saber. Yeah, there's a couple other ones. Anyway, we have these many different classes, and basically they all they're all different heroes from time, such as I can't think of people right now because I would be obviously spoiling some of their identities, because their identities are kept a secret throughout the show until, obviously you will learn about them eventually. You might hear a little bang in the background. That might be thunder. Looks like it's about to storm, but I'm going to get this review done anyway. Anyway, like I said, we have these different classes, and obviously don't want to talk about all of them, might spoil some, but just think of it as people like from the past, heroic people, big figures from the past, big figures from the future, and big figures from the present, so that's who you can summon to be your heroic spirit, technically. Anyway, now after that, basically, everybody decides that they want to get their hands on this Holy Grail. Some people want to get their hands on this Holy Grail to obviously do bad and destroy the world. Some people want to get their hands on it so that they can be personally wealthy, per se, and some people just want to get their hands on it so that they can prevent these people from doing things like this. Altogether, for the plot, I'm giving the plot a great score just because of the point that it's so detailed and great. It's a Fate series. It's Fate, really. Fate is just so detailed, obviously. It's a visual novel with hours of play. Condensing it down into an anime may not be easy, but they can do it. They know how to do it, and they have now done 2 of the routes. Is there another one coming? Who knows? Hopefully, but you never know. There is a 3rd arc, there is a 3rd route for the game, so I'm hoping so. Anyway, plot-wise, you can't go wrong with Fate Zero. The plot is so interesting, it can intrigue anyone. As long as you like a little bit of fantasy, you'll love Fate Zero. Fighting, action, anybody who loves action will love it. Anyone who likes, really, this thing includes tons of genres of anything you can think of. Anyway, for plot, I give it a solid 9 out of 10 for plot. The plot is just so interesting, like I just said. It just deserves that. A 9 out of 10 for plot, definitely. Anyway, from there on, we move to characters. I just can't tell you guys how well the characters are put together in this show. In general, the characters are great. We have the main character, Shiro Emiya, who happens to be the son of Fate Zero's main protagonist. Fate Zero doesn't really have one, but kind of like the one that it follows the most out of all of them is obviously Kiritsugu Emiya. After Kiritsugu had destroyed the Grail and all of that, the insides of the Grail, the lava, the black, started just pouring out and trying to kill people, obviously. We had him scouring, going insane, like, this isn't how I was supposed to save the world. I was supposed to save the world, not destroy it and kill people. Well, obviously, that went a little wrong, and he was just heartbroken and destroyed, but then in the ground he saw a hand sticking up and it was moving, and so he dug and he dug and he dug until he found Shiro. And this is where it kind of kicks off, hitting Shiro as the main character. We have Shiro obviously coming in to play. Emiya is now completely restricted from the Ainsberg Manor. He can't even go back to see his daughter now, and it's just really sad. And so now with this little light of hope in his life, at least he had something. We end up though with obviously Shiro and his father in Fuyuki living there for years until one night his father dies, sadly. But the thing is that we have a talk about in the anime at the beginning where him and his father make a promise. And this promise is basically his father and him sitting on the porch watching fireworks, or just looking out at the night. I can't remember which one it was. And his father was like, he was like, Dad, have you ever had a dream? Something like that. And he was like, yeah, I wanted to be a hero of justice, I believe it was. And then he was like, why don't you become one then, Dad? And Kiritsugu at that point is so old, he's just like, I'm too old to do that now. It's too late for me. And then Shiro tells him, I will become that hero of justice that you were going to be since you're too old now. And that's really the only part that we get to see a lot of, obviously, Kiritsugu in this, because he dies. Anyway, great character, great, love him. He is just generally a really good character. It kind of is weird how he does not care for himself. He cares for others more than he cares for himself. I don't really understand that. I mean, I can understand to an extent to why you would care for others. I mean, there are points where that happens, but even complete assholes to him, he's still just, in general, he tries to help them. It's just really like for say Shinji from the show. Shinji's just an utter asshole, and he still helps Shinji and like does stuff for him. It's just insane. Anyway, altogether, Shiro is a very good main character. He's enjoyable, he's likable. There are times in the show where you aren't going to like him that much, but still, I believe that Shiro is a well put together main character. Besides Shiro, we have the other, I narrowed it down to 3 main characters of the show itself, and that would be Saber, Rin, and Archer. The 3 main other characters, obviously, Saber and Archer obviously being 2 of the, being 2 of the spirits of the show, and also Rin being the other mage of the show. Well, not the other mage and the other 2 spirits, but the other 2 that are with Shiro in general and are allies. We have Saber, who is actually back again from Phase Zero, you'll remember, who played as the as Emiya Kiritsugu's spirit. There we go. As Kiritsugu's spirit. And we also have Rin, who makes another appearance from Fate Zero, as obviously her father's daughter. She wasn't in a lot of Fate Zero, but she was in a couple small scenes, young Rin, and it's cool, I guess, to see her older, I guess. And then we have Archer, the other type of main character. Anyway, Saber, let's start from Saber and just kind of work down the list. We have Saber, who is generally a very nice girl, and she is just really, how should I put this? She wants her master to win. She really loves what she does, and she needs it to win. She supports him, and she's a very loyal servant as well. Even later on in the show, for say, there's a part, spoilers if you don't want to hear this, but anyway, later on in the show, for say, there is a part where their pact breaks and she gets stolen, and then Rin contracts with her instead of Shiro, because it just seemed like the time, because she needed to be able to save Shiro. And anyway, even though she had broken the contract with Shiro, or the contract was already broken, and she was now partnered with Rin, she still kept those ideals strong about how she had obviously made a contract with Shiro already, and she decided, I'm going to continue being your servant and still help you. Anyway, now we move on from that to Rin Tosaka. Rin Tosaka is a different character. She's interesting. She's one of the more interesting. Obviously, she's a full tsundere of the show. We have, anyway, Rin, who is, I don't know, at the beginning of the show, and through half the show, there are parts where she can be a really heartwarming person and nice, but then of course she's a tsundere, so she goes from really mean to really nice to really mean again. It just kind of changes a lot. But her character is a very good character. I enjoy it. She has I would understand completely why her character is so screwed up. I mean, her dad got killed in the Holy Grail War, so she has a sense of being bipolar, I guess. She might have some issues there, but you never know. Anyway, Rin is just a really good character, and she just progresses throughout the story. Her and Emiya obviously getting closer and closer, and there are some times that I can recall that were just breathtaking with her and Emiya, and that were just really good with her in general. She's really strong, kind of girl, and she doesn't like mornings. I've come to learn that. She's never gonna like mornings. Anyway, now we move on to the final character that I've decided to dissect for this review, and that is Archer. Archer's just a badass, obviously. One of the best spirits of the show in general. Personal favorite, besides maybe besides maybe Saber and Gilgamesh. But anyway, we move on to Archer, and oh, gosh, Archer is just, in general, Archer is a very cool spirit, but he's a dick. Complete asshole. I mean, he cares a lot about things, but he doesn't show it at all, and he shows it more in the sense that he's just a really big dick to everyone. Even his master, Rin, he can be a dick too, but he pulls through. He pulls through, you guys. He's not a complete ass. He can pull through sometimes, and he's just a really cool guy, so you guys, don't worry. Freaking badass. Anyway, you guys, just in general, the characters are insanely great for this. The characters complement the art, and the art complements the plot. It works so well in Fate Stay Night 2014 that it's insane. For character ratings, I easily give it a 10 out of 10 for characters in general, just because of how great they are. Anyway, from here on in, I'm going to move on to more of my personal opinions and my final kind of thoughts about the show and my final rating. So as you guys can tell, my thoughts on Fate Stay Night 2014 are just insanely good. Great show. Incredible. It only happens every couple of years that Ufotable actually does this now, I guess. I hope that they do another one in a couple more years. But, Jesus, it's just so good to see that good quality anime like this still comes out. You know, it doesn't come out in abundance, but it comes out, at least when it comes out, it gets a lot of hype, and it gets really good, and everyone knows that it's going to be good. Like I've heard said from other people, Ufotable doesn't take things that are hyped and make money off of already hyped things. They take things that nobody really knows about, or that aren't widely known, and they make them hype. And then they sell a ton, and they make a fuck ton of money. Anyway, my thoughts in general are just great show, really enjoyable, has a great cast, great art, and great plot. I love the plot, I love the idea, I love survival games. Anybody who else who likes survival games, I just love the survival genre. Mirai Nikki, great. Obviously, these have different feelings to them, these survival types, but this one generally was a really good one. It had the feels were real, you guys. Like Miraniki for say, or you have Batum, or I can't think of other ones, but there's a couple other ones, maybe Gantz for say. Not that good of an anime though. Anyway, no, definitely there are great survival games, and this is up there. This is the top one, I'd have to say, for survival games besides Miraniki. Obviously, it's Miraniki. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Fate Stay Night. I took up about 20 minutes of your day today. Way to waste it. Anyway, my final review is I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10. It deserves it. 10 out of 10 is not gonna land it on my my top 10, you know, but it's gonna land itself close because in general, this and Fate Zero, the storytelling and the art in general, and just everything about the show makes it deserve that score. I can't get past the fact of how good it was. I mean, it just does not get on my top 10. There's a certain factor that just has to go into my top 10, and that is how much I love it. There are oh boy, 3 shows right now that I'm just dying to throw into my top 10, and I just don't know. I'll just ramble for a minute, why not? There's 3 shows that I'm just kind of wondering whether or not they deserve to be in my top 10, and those are like, obviously Steins Gate, Bakuman, and we have The Blue Exorcist. 3 shows that are great that I haven't put in my top 10 yet. I might not even do a top 10 anymore. I might just make a top anime of all time list and or of my favorite top anime and go from there. Anyway, tell me how you guys enjoyed the review. I hope you guys really liked it. I put a lot of time into this, obviously, and yeah, I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it. Reviews are gonna start. I need to get it done. It's the summer, I have time, and so more reviews will start coming. One thing that I'm not sure about is this upcoming Sunday, I'm going to try to get my review done in the morning for Tokyo Ghoul-Re, but we are going on vacation starting Sunday on the 5th, or the 5th, I believe it is. Damn, that is right in the middle of the review season, so I am going to try to get into that. I have my new phone, so I have a new camera, obviously, that I can use, and I'm going to try to do some reaction videos while I'm out on vacation about the new episodes when I watch them, obviously. So keep your eyes open for that. And anyway, you guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.